Hi folks, this is your NWIS Winter Planner updated on Wednesday evening the 7th of February. Just over a week to go now until Fort William Mountain Festival gets underway, and we're looking forward to being part of that. We are providing some weather skills workshops over the weekend of the Saturday, the Sunday mornings, the 17th and the 18th. In addition to that, the following week we're going to be in Edinburgh with our next full day course, our Day with NWIS Weather Skills event. If you want more information and ticketing details, check out the details there on our website. Will we have any wintry weather to play with over the next week and beyond? Well, yes, no and maybe is probably the best answer for the country as a whole during the next week or so. This is the snow depth chart, and this is where we'll be before dawn on Thursday morning, and things get underway pretty quickly across Wales and into the South Pennines in the morning as snow sets in, as a front is pushing northwards into cold air, and there's some persistent and heavy snowfalls to be found for a good part of the day over the South Pennines. For Wales, that snow will start to turn more to rain from the south, and that could give a really icy mix here during the afternoon. Snow continues to push northwards into the North Pennines and the Lake District with time. There's snow on the ground too across the northern and western parts of the Highlands fairly extensively, and across much of the high tops there's a covering of snow at the moment as well. Some fresh accumulations will develop though into the Highlands as we go through the later part of the week. There'll be some more snowfalls over the Pennines overnight and into Friday. Some milder air starts to get in from the south, so around the Peak District snow will begin to thaw, especially at lower elevations as we go through Friday, but some snow accumulating there through Friday daytime, especially over the south and eastern parts of the Highlands. Some substantial accumulations and drifting developing on gale force easterly winds by this stage. Snow on the ground is likely to be confined to higher terrain for England and Wales heading into the weekend, at lower elevations mostly having turned back to rain and thawing. For the Highlands too, that freezing level will start to rise. We'll look at that in a moment, but leaving an extensive coverage over the central and more eastern parts of the Highlands, also up into the far northeast as well. That is likely to be some snow accumulations. Widely across the tops there will be snow, but the least of accumulations overall, typically out toward the west. The freezing level situation as we approach the weekend then will be rising across England and Wales, but we're still down below 400 metres across northern Scotland early on Saturday. That level will likely rise as the daytime goes on. There's a bit of uncertainty how soon it does go northwards and lift, but I think as we head through the middle part of the day it's up above 900 to even 1,000 metres. So turning to sleet and rain at lower elevations, still some snowfalls to come over the higher tops, a bit of a mixture later on in the day as that begins to fizzle out. Through into Sunday, and the general freezing level is looking to be at around 1,000 metres. A few spots may just be a bit lower than that in more western parts, some local variations, but basically the tops across the Munros will be near or below freezing point overall, and even the high tops in England and Wales will be close to freezing, so again some icy conditions to be aware of over the higher summits here. Similar sort of situation to Monday, the scope for a widespread frost on Monday morning, just if skies do clear. The daytime freezing level hovering up towards around 800 metres. A few spots in the Highlands could well stay lower than that, a bit higher for Wales at this stage. Those relatively chilly temperatures hang on for a day or so into next week. Nothing especially low with that freezing level, still at around 800 to 1,000 metres or so. If anything, that level will tend to rise as we head through midweek, most indications favouring the wind flow turning more to the south by this stage, so it does look as though some milder conditions would be on the way as we head through the later part of that week ahead. Just got to watch the details in terms of just how that pattern does unfold though. It'll be a complicated looking weather chart at the start of the week. A shallow area of low pressure somewhere north of Scotland, and areas of precipitation and showers with some snow and some hail over the mountains circulating around that. The wind speed's quite variable in speed and direction by this stage, typically just back westerly if anything for a time. A ridge of higher pressure is trying to build around Tuesday. Some weak fronts having a go at maybe pushing in from the southwest, but those fade as higher pressure is just around. And then that high is moving a bit further eastwards. There's some fronts over the Atlantic, and it's a bit uncertain how all of that interacts in the later part of the week, but most indications do just favour that milder southerly airflow getting in for a time. But how close any fronts get by that time, very much open to question. There's a high that's quite strong around Scandinavia and further eastwards, which may become the more dominant trend heading towards that weekend. Indications towards the later part of February would suggest that our area of high pressure would become focused further toward the north and northwest of the country, and it's a signal that's been there or thereabouts for a while, and it would allow some chillier air masses to be drawn around towards us from Scandinavia, across Scotland at least. Western Scotland would see the driest of conditions, with the airflow as more east or northeasterlies. Some snow flurries and showers in the mix at times. It may be that Scotland sees some relatively dry conditions for a while. Further south, lower pressure systems running through over southern parts of England and Wales, giving more mixed conditions here, and temperatures a bit more variable, perhaps favouring something being on the milder side the further south that you go, with a mix of rain and some hill snow maybe around Wales and the North Pennines, occasionally, just depending on how the detail pans out. Much to play for with that story, but at least the scope for some chilly conditions hanging around into the second half of the month for Scotland at least. We'll have your fleeting view looking into the weekend in a bit more detail tomorrow. That is your winter planner for today. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.